Genesis is a community dedicated to love, inspiring harmony, and creating connections to empower spiritual growth. And we love that you are here to share in that with us today. I am your host, Dave. I am also a practitioner here. Our online host is Eric. Woo! Yeah, let's give it up for Eric. That's right. All right. And if you're watching online, please drop comments. And if this is your first time, tell us how you found Genesis. I love reading those after the service. So now we will go and read our mission and vision statements. Our mission. We are building a vibrant community, cultivating a garden of spiritual growth, honoring vulnerability, creating a safe place of comfort and peace where all are welcome and accepted. And our vision. Genesis is a bright beacon with an unshakable heart of love, accepting all. A home for the soul where we each creatively express our spiritual brilliance. Man, that just sounds so good. I gotta say. All right, and we will go on to our announcements. I'm just trying to see if I match up. Last time I did this, I didn't match up with the slides. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm on today. All right, you can join me and Jim Monson for a Genesis men's group. And this is a place where we get together, connect with each other, and share what is going on in our lives. If you are interested in joining in, see me. We have very rich conversations, so I highly encourage it. After service today, we usually have this Universal Christ book study, but today we are not going to have a book study today because we have a practitioners meeting, but I still will announce it because it is so much fun to read and enrich our lives with this book. Karen Williams does a fantastic job facilitating this, and it's just another great experience. So if you haven't come, you can still join in on that. Wednesday, we have intention circles. And they do this every Wednesday, and it is a great place to just join in and manifest the goodness in your lives. Going on with the Karen Williams announcements, we have the Science of Mind textbook in a year. Practitioner Karen Williams is a Follow Me Guide to Read the Entire Science of Mind textbook every day in a year. And you will find this on the Facebook page, the Genesis family page. You get all of your Ernest Holmes goodness every single day. And so now is our time to get up and meet and greet and say hello to each other.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I know I love the meet and greet is one of my favorite times too, getting around there, and I'm so thankful that we were able to do that again. So if anyone is visiting Genesis for the first time, we'd love to meet and learn how you found out about Genesis. Is anybody here for the first time? I don't think so. I think we're all family and friends, which is awesome. And I don't even know why we say, does anyone need a prayer card? I have this in my little script here, but we all have to have prayer cards. If you don't have a prayer card, you're sitting on it, just to let you know. So, all right. So I would like to give great thanks to all the volunteers in service for today. Our greeter today is Christy. On the video is Mike. Our offering is Gideon. And on Soren, who is sound, thank you, Soren, for teaching me how to use the mic properly, too. So I really appreciate that. Give it up for that. Online is Eric, and the practitioner today is Reverend Rose. And so if you need any sort of a little bit of the goodness, a little bit of fun, a little bit of extra prayer, Reverend Rose, you got us? Yeah, she does. That's right. See her after the service. And so with that, I would like us all to do our centering song with ChristineEss, our new centering song, which I'm learning.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, we do the gong again now. Okay. Okay, so I'm Reverend Rose Marie, and I'm your practitioner this morning. So since this month is scheduled for paradoxes and transitions, and then a repetitive war broke out this week. So this morning I'm reading from 3 of the 100 contemplative virtue cards before we move into prayer. The virtues are the essence of who we are. They are designed in the words of and the qualities of the divine and attributes of the human spirit. Also, the context of our characters. The 3 I have chosen are as follows. The first one is compassion. We know that compassion is self-compassion first, so that we can offer that self-compassion to others. Compassion is deep empathy for another who is suffering or living with misfortune. It is understanding. The practice of compassion is feeling empathy for the pain of others, caring for others, and having a strong desire to ease their distresses. The next one is peacefulness. And as a war is figuring out how not to be a war. After hundreds of years of conflict, we need and use peacefulness as an inner calm and tranquility. It is a sense of harmony with all creation. Our inner peace comes from quiet reflection and prayer. Practicing peaceful as follows is releasing fear, choosing justice instead of choosing anger, and choosing unification instead of discord. Our third out of the 100 virtues is the word and the being of grace. Grace is our connection to the divine, a sense that we are loved and provided for in all circumstances. Practicing grace is blessing others with your tenderness, being willing to forgive, to think, move and speak with gentleness and courtesy, which is respectful to yourself and others. So now let's calm ourselves and prepare for prayer. Be together in that tender place of our hearts. Take 2 deep breaths and silently affirm the goodness of all there is as we move into prayer. I know that there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect, and that life is my life right here and right now. God is all there is and moves through me, as me, and is me in every moment, in every day, in all ways. God is the divine, walking every step with me hand in hand. And together we are all holding another's hands, and we're all walking each other home. As me, through me, assuring me and guiding me is God. Each and every place I show up in life, there is God. Even places I don't want to show up in life, there is God. Because God always is there, here, and everywhere. Every thought I think and every choice I make is guided and manifests through me as God. I am always at the right place at the right time, saying and doing the right thing, and giving and receiving in perfect balance. And in knowing this, I know and claim that there is grace, compassion, peacefulness, joy, peace, tolerance, forgiveness, and acts of kindness, love, and there's a transformational acts in the world that are of kindness. That I know is already manifesting right here, right now, and everywhere on this planet through the grace and love of God. We are truly blessed, loved, appreciated, cared for, filled with joy and contentment and gratitude for this moment and always. We are divinely guided to our right place in every moment where we are serving perfectly. Today is the best day in our lives, and we fully step into it and live it fully. I have great gratitude for my beginning, and continue on with great gratitude for every area of life. I'm grateful for our new minister, for the opportunity to serve here, and the faith and the life and health and joy in the lives that are here, represented here, and the lives online. And so I release this prayer into the law and affirm with "so it is, and so I let it be."
So it is.
Our song this morning is a call and response. So if I sing a line, you're invited to echo that line. And then we sing at the end of each verse together, we sing, "And the whole wide world is my home."
Perfect. Close enough. I'm so glad to be here once again. Good morning. We're talking once again about paradoxes and transitions and what we do in the moment. In the past month, we started off paradoxes by talking about how there are polarities, and we see too, especially in this world, it's so easy for people to create poles and extremes, and everybody's lining up with their tribes on either side. And the first thing we learned was the polarity mindset. Instead of picking either or, we got to pick both and figure out and see and determine with our heart and our creativity whether there was a way for us to include everything, to include all the poles. And then last week, we learned how to use the polarity navigator, which is when there are poles, and sometimes it's appropriate to sort of ski in between the poles. You go one way, and then that's a little too much, and then you go back the other way, and it's not enough, and there are more polarity navigators if anybody likes them, but it's a handy tool to know that sometimes poles are options. It isn't like I have to line up with one or the other. Although one of the things we learned is about what happens if you make the pole into the meaning of your entire life. If you clutch onto it, we found out about a particular UFO cult where in 1954, when the UFO didn't come to pick them up at the time it was supposed to, the people who'd sold their houses and given away their money and given away their cars were the ones who were most invested in it's still true even though the UFO didn't come. And they were the most, so often the more you put into the pole, the more you're sort of stuck. And so we looked at our lives for, are there places of stuckness in our lives where we're not really following our best, what's best for us in the world. We're instead stuck on a pole. Today we're going to talk about mystery and about living in the midst of paradox. So I'm going to start off talking about what it's like. So living in paradox is about living in the moment, and it takes curiosity and vulnerability to live in the moment, to not necessarily follow the plan. Yesterday I got to experience this with the annular eclipse. Did anybody get to see the eclipse yesterday? A few people. So Christy and I many years ago went, not that many, we went to the total eclipse in Corvallis a few years ago. And it was one of several total eclipses I've been to, and I really find those, completely transforming when the world changes for like a minute or two or three or five during the total eclipse. So I was like, annular eclipse, it's a partial eclipse. What do you care about that? When I was a kid, by the luck of astronomy, I happened to experience a bunch of annular eclipses, and they became sort of commonplace to me. So I went after breakfast. We went with the grandkids to the playground, and we were just playing on the playground, kicking around the soccer ball and stuff like that. And I think it was an angel in disguise showed up. It was somebody with a telescope and eclipse glasses and green and blue and purple hair. And at some point she came up to us and said, I love showing kids the eclipse. I have eclipse glasses. Do you want to look at them? And I was like, maybe. The 5-year-old was like, I don't want to waste my time with that stuff. And the 3-year-old was excited. He was like, yeah. And, but he's excited about pickup trucks. Truck! But this is approximately the shape of the eclipse glasses we had. And we put the eclipse glasses on him and then pointed his head at the sun. And he was like, wow. and he wouldn't take them off, and he didn't want to stop looking. Finally, we convinced him. And then when I put it on and I looked at the sun, I was like, whoa, it was, it was incredible. It was, a mind-changing experience, to have the experience of sort of mystery and wonder right there, of awe right in the middle of an otherwise normal day, and to get to experience it. So it was nice that we had that multicolored hair astronomer to come over and help us. And then before we left, when the sun had gotten to the furthest it was going to get, to 83% eclipsed, we looked again, and this time the 5-year-old was like, I want to see it, because he saw how it changed us getting to see it. And just for that moment, the eclipse goes away. It's something momentary. You can't cling on to it. But the memory of what it's like to live in the moment, on that edge, in the awe of the moment. Zen master Ikkyu said hundreds of years ago, everyday priests minutely examine the Dharma and endlessly chant complicated sutras. Before doing that, though, they should learn how to read the love letters sent by the wind and the rain, the snow and the moon. And that's what I got to do just by being in the right place just by being open to the possibility that it could be a magic moment. And we got to read a love letter that the moon and the sun were sending to us. And it's not just that. I always enjoy, when I was in college, one of my friends loved being out at night because you could always see Orion. And especially since I'm into Greek myths, it's lovely to see the Greek myths exhibiting themselves in the sky. So there are magical moments available, in every moment, in every present. Joan Chittister wrote The Gifts of Years, Growing Old Gracefully, and she says, growth requires the curiosity of a 3-year-old, the confidence of a teenager. We can do anything if we want to. So I've talked in earlier sermons about a narrator we have going on in our head, a voice that describes, a storyteller that turns whatever's going on into a story. It's our story. It's a story of our adventures going through lives. And people have experience of this kind of narrator, storyteller. And what the storyteller often does is it brings us into a cloud bank of struggle. Our beliefs and stories have us resisting, manipulating, and wanting life to be different. Our storyteller has an addiction to fixing. It's a problem factory. And it's really helpful to have a fixer. All of us are expert fixers. If there's a problem, we can fix it. But a storyteller, because it's so good at fixing things, it wants to make a problem out of everything. Because I can fix that, I can fix that, I can fix that too. What about that? I can fix that. And this is where curiosity and vulnerability comes in. Our storyteller is trying to keep us safe. It's trying to make our life better. But sometimes it steps into it too quickly. It isn't willing to sit in the moment of awe and wonder, sit and be curious, and be vulnerable. Sometimes, as you're sitting, you're not armoring up. You're exposing yourself. But this is where the power comes from letting ourselves be vulnerable. And what we do with our curiosity and vulnerability is we move from a story of, I am afraid, to this is a story about fear. My inner storyteller has a story about fear, and I don't have to buy into the story, but I can have a relationship with the storyteller. I can accept and love the storyteller and say, hey, we are on the same side. We both want a life of love, peace, growth, and bountiful abundance and health. We want all these things. And what are our choices here? What if we step back out of the fear, open a little vulnerability, and see what our choices are? Because our storytellers not only has been with us since infancy, but it's really good at what it does, or fixing problems. It's really good at fixing problems if we allow ourselves to guide it. So as you sit in the moment and are more and more curious about the story the storyteller is giving you, there will be more opportunity for curiosity, more opportunity for exploration. Brene Brown says, no, David White. David White's one of our local poets, and he says, vulnerability is not a weakness, a passing indisposition, or something we can be without. Vulnerability is not a choice. Vulnerability is the underlying, ever-present, and abiding undercurrent of our natural state. To run from vulnerability is to run from the essence of our nature. So this takes a lot of courage to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Brene Brown, who's sort of today's icon of vulnerability, says vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. Vulnerability is the source of hope, empathy, accountability, and authenticity. If we want greater clarity in our purpose, or deeper and more meaningful spiritual lives, vulnerability is the path. And so we open to vulnerability. I was touched, the first time I came into this space and I saw vulnerability on What We Believe, Declaration of Principles. I was like, this is my place. This is, it's nice to admit, I mean, we have a God that is, we are very powerful. We can accomplish lots of things. And if we allow ourselves to be vulnerability, we can accomplish more of the right things with more of our friends and including more people. We were, so I'm a big fan of Greek myths, as you guys are finding out little by little. And this is because the ancient Greek myths that we know are stories that have been told, there are no computer memory left over from 3,000 years ago. Everything we know about that time, we know from, or a lot of what we know, some we know from archaeology. The myths we know because people thought it was worthwhile telling the stories. The stories were true enough, real enough, and powerful enough in everybody's lives that these are the stories that they chose to pass on because they thought because it was a gift to future generations, which is us. The story of Jason and the Argonauts is one that predates the Odyssey. It is really from the mists of time, before the Trojan War. So it's at least 3,000 years old. And Jason represents, and one of the reasons I think it's so powerful is it represents archetypes. It represents parts of ourselves, each of the characters. So Jason is the brash part of ourselves that's ready to win and wants to grow, and the world is a wonderful place. His uncle King Peleus is like fixed mindset. He's the part of us that likes things the way they are and wants you to go away, and here, why don't I send you on a mission so that I'll never see you again? And as they go in their boat, the Argo, which the boats in those days had eyes, and the eyes on the boats were to keep them safe. And I talk about, our organ of spiritual vision is our heart. And this is one of the things we're finding out about Jason and the Argonauts, is they really have a lot of heart. If you watch the movie Jason and the Argonauts, they sort of emphasize the fighting part. But I'm emphasizing the part they left out. You know, the first thing they did when they got on their boat was they ran into an island full of women, and they all fell in love. And they hung out, and they forgot about their mission. And it was only when Hercules said, "Come on, guys, we have a mission." Like, oh, okay, sorry. And now in today's adventure, they are rescuing Phineas. And Phineas is a guy who knows all, tells all. He knows everything. He knows the truth. He's found the truth from the gods. And what Zeus has done, because sometimes the gods want things to remain in mystery. Zeus sent harpies to him, and the harpies wouldn't let him eat. And so by the time, but he was actually okay with this because he knows all and tells all, so he knew that Jason and the Argonauts were going to come and rescue him eventually. But he was still suffering. He was starving because he couldn't eat anything. The harpies would take it. The harpies were flying women who just did not let him eat because that was their job. So Phineas represents the part of us, you know, I talk about life as calculation and poetry. And we need calculation in order to make life work. But if we don't have poetry, if we don't have joy of the moment, if we don't have art and love and spirituality, we're not spiritually fed. We like dry up and wither. And I think this is what happened to Phineas. Phineas was so intent on being always right, always correct, and telling everybody all the things he knew about them. Like, not, do you want to know this? Hey, I'm going to tell you your future. I'm going to tell you everything that's wrong with you and everything that's right with you. And so Phineas was here, friendless and starving. Jason and the Argonauts came, and of course Hercules wants to go fight the harpies, but it's hard because they can fly and Hercules can't. But they had the Boreads, who are the sons of the north wind, called Zetes and Calais. And they could fly because they took themselves lightly. And they just came and swooped in, and they charmed the harpies. And they said, "Let's go, we're sons of the north wind, let's go on an adventure." And the harpies are like, "This is more interesting than that Phineas guy." And so they flew off, and while they and the Boread twins were having wonderful adventures in the sky, Jason and the rest of the Argonauts took Phineas, brought him into the boat, fed him, and taught him community, taught him love, had him enfolded in the heart of a family instead of alone with his truths. And then they could find out his truths when it was, Phineas wasn't in charge of the expedition. It's interesting because at first Hercules wanted to be in charge because he's like, "I'm the strongest, I should be in charge." But everyone's like, "No, it's Jason's quest, man." Then Phineas wanted to be in charge. "I know everything, I should be in charge." They're like, "No, you don't have heart. We need somebody with heart to lead our expedition." And so they have, you know, like us, we have our narrator that we can use, our fixer we can use to fix anything. But by being open and vulnerable and playful. The Boreads were certainly playful. I mean, who would have thought that the harpies would go away if you offered to play? Phineas wouldn't. He was too smart for that, too serious. So, you know, the question is, you know, how rooted are we in the here and now? How open are we to receiving the nutrients flowing all around us? You know, can we open to the present? I'm going to bring us through a little bit of a process here. We talk about, so I always talk about, you know, the heart is our organ of spiritual sight. And by activating the heart, in fact, let's just do this for a second. Let's think of something that you love or are grateful for. If you put your hands on your heart, it helps a little bit, or can help. And just feel, you know, it could be a pet, a family member, this wonderful spiritual family we have here in this beautiful space. And as you feel it open, as you feel the gratitude in our heart, notice that it immediately fills the heart and overflows. The heart fills our whole bodies, and now it's connecting us. And we know that this love, this spiritual vision exists outside of space and time. And so no matter when or where you're experiencing this, you're part of that flow, you're part of that connection. The we space is what my friends are calling it. The space where we are together as one. So this is the way we perceive, God or spirit from our hearts. So we can inhale again and bring ourselves back into this space. We also have, and I'm going to thank ChristineEss and her wonderful course, Beyond Limits, for this as part of my homework. I came up with a spiritual mind treatment for us all because I thought, really we have God, the way we experience God, the way we experience God through the heart. We experience God through the head. And I think our spiritual mind treatment is specifically, it's in the name. It's through the head, and this is the head version of God. This is the part of God that understands that, the universe is all one, and it's a vast kaleidoscope of wonderment, but it's all one. And the experience of that, here's our treatment. We recognize the one power at the heart of all creation. This universal spirit is life, love, wisdom, power, peace, abundance, and wholeness of the perfect life within us. We feel deep assurance and rejoice that we and our source are one. We know that ultimate wisdom and joy is always present within us. We are profoundly grateful for this healing truth and for the abundant and perfect manifestation of the good that we accept. We know this infinite creative word now moves forth into highest and best manifestation. We release this accepted prayer into the infinite power of the creative law of God. We joyfully let go and let God do the perfect work.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. So that's different. That feels different than the heart, the heart bubbling forth the beloved and seeing things with a spiritual vision. It is an enlightened mind view of God. And now there's the mystery. And the mystery is what we're into now. The mystery comes from our creative womb. And it's sort of a more mysterious thing. I've been wanting to do this for several Sundays. I'm like, how do we make it work? And I think I've got a way. So, but I'm going to read what ChatGPT had to say about God as mystery. I had to edit it because ChatGPT does really not know. It knows some things about God as mystery, but we got to teach it. This is actually one of my dreams in life. There is a spiritual ChatGPT that trains itself on spiritual information and spiritual sources. And so far, Science of Mind is not part of its corpus of spiritual teachings that it's dealing with. So, it's my mission. It's sort of my passion to find out how we can make that happen. But God is mystery. God is a profound, ineffable, and transcendent reality. The ultimate goal is to experience or commune with the divine mystery. And really, the universe, there is more contained in heaven and earth than is known to you, Horatio, said Hamlet. Yeah. And so there's always mystery, as much as we know. But let's see if we can connect with the mystery and then connect all of our connections to God. So Actually, let's do, just for a moment before we go into meditation, just because you guys have been sitting there for a long time, I just want to do the heaven above, earth below. So heaven above is the divine. Earth below, we are 100% human, carbon-based life forms. And all of us here together exploring our nature. Heaven above is the polarity above, the divine, the perfect, the outside of time and space. Earth below, we exist in time, we create things, we are beautifully connected, and all of us living in both worlds simultaneously in our paradox mindset, or maybe living between the worlds. And now we can sit down, and I'll have us first take a deep breath and exhale. And let's first move our attention down into our feet. Actually, Christine, oh good, you were thinking the same thing I was. Brilliant minds. Breathing into our hearts again. We feel the gratitude, we feel our hearts open. We feel the love and connection from our hearts as it fills our body. And then let's move our awareness, allow our awareness to move to our feet. And maybe we can wiggle our toes or move our feet. What do our feet feel like? Are they warm or cool? Is there pressure on them? Feel your feet connecting all the way down to the core of the earth and through the whole cosmos. We are connected to the earth. We are connected to all of creation. Let's breathe the energy of incarnated love up through the cosmos, through the earth, into our feet and legs. We are now connected to our incarnated embodiment, welcoming the energy of love, the contact point between the divine and the material, the earth and the very cells of our body. We connect through creation into unmanifest source itself. Feel into that interface, that synapse from the unknown to the known, from the unmanifest into the manifest, from disembodied eternity into the concrete now. And feel the alchemy of the sacred nothing becoming something through our connections, through our bodies, as infinite awareness, back through all of creation, up through the earth, infinite awareness manifesting from eternity and infinity in this now moment as our enfleshed and embodied selves. And now let's put our hands on our tummy to help bring our awareness to our spiritual womb, our source of creation. And allow your breath to let your belly rise and fall. And we feel infinite awareness traveling up to our spiritual womb, manifesting from eternity and infinity as our divine sacred essence right now. Here in the womb space, we're held in the flow. Ultimate creativity of pure presence moment by moment. This is the space of our deepest identity, of our divine self that knows how to create from a pre-rational and trans-rational knowing, continually creating us over and over in each moment. Allow yourself to sink into your ground of being, the wellspring of your divine identity. Be held in this vital space and just be. Notice the breath breathes space into the infinite mystery of our creative womb. And we feel the creation, we feel the creative power growing in our womb, and it stretches forth into our hearts. And now we manifest from eternity and infinity as our divine loving right now. And from our sacred heart, we feel the love filling our bodies and connecting to the we space, connecting to each other, connecting to everybody at any time. In fact, connecting to all our relations. We are connected as infinite awareness. We're connected to one another, and we are connected to God. At an alive cellular level, as organism, we feel into our interbeing with one another. Allow yourself to be held as a jewel in the sacred kaleidoscope of our divine we. We are one. We are the jewel at the center of the divine kaleidoscope. Heart and creation. And now we allow ourselves to return within and move our awareness from our radiant heart into our mind space, manifesting from eternity as our divine mind in this now moment. We find our head space can be unusually clear and quiet, and we can rest in this vibrant stillness in our divine mind. We may stay and rest in this clear stillness, or perhaps you'd like to open a little door at your crown from which infinite awareness can spring forth and intertwine with all of creation, open to the transcendent beyond and its radiant mystery. And now, whenever you're ready, let's take another deep breath and exhale. As we remain energetically grounded to the earth, our spiritual womb is flowing with creativity and intuition. Our heart is transmitting its radiant connection, and our mind is settled with still clarity. And whenever you like, you can return your attention to this time and space, knowing that all of this is always within you. We can always call upon the mystery for creativity. We can always connect to the earth and all of creation that created us. We can always see with spiritual vision. And we know the universal mind loves us, prospers us, and helps us solve all problems. So thank you, ChristineEss. So our affirmation for today is, I am curious and vulnerable as I explore paradoxes in my life. As we continue on our hero's journey from fixed mindset to growth mindset, we find ourselves traveling through paradox, through the polarities, awe and wonder, like the annular eclipse. We have curiosity that helped free Phineas from the harpies. And this is one of the things, when we talk to when we're curious with our storyteller, when we befriend our storyteller who wants us, fighting between victim and victor or winning in the rat race, we can tell that storyteller, we embrace that storyteller with love. We embrace that storyteller with connection. We embrace that storyteller with community. And we know that we are safe and we are powerful and we are loving and beloved. We can embrace each moment. First, I want to say, we must open the doors of our earnest homes, and Love and the Law said, now we must open up the doors of our consciousness, expand and expand and expand, and no longer think in terms of the backyard lot, but in terms of the infinite nature, in terms of the universe. Mm-hmm. And I want to encourage everybody, whenever you think of it, embrace the moment, embrace the mystery, and stay curious and vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it. We are ready to go. Christy is raising her hand.
The affirmation, and can we say it?
Oh, thank you so much. I am curious and vulnerable as I explore paradoxes in my life. So together, I am curious and vulnerable as I explore paradoxes in my life. One more time. I am curious and vulnerable as I explore paradoxes in my life. And know there's always a paradox in this moment. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When I was a girl each week, Sunday when we'd go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bride. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath, like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world out there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy.
was fantastic. Can we give just another hand to ChristineEss for all that she's done? Centering songs, being our musician. Oh, just absolutely just so blessed. Oh. So now is our time of the service. We do our giving and our receiving. So if you have a prayer card, which you should have, I invite you to take a moment and fill it out with a prayer request. It can be for something inspired by today's service or whatever else is on your heart right now. If you're watching online, you can submit your request through the Genesis website, genesiscsl.org. And with that same intention, our center is supported by God, and we welcome to be a part of how God's support shows up. If you are on Facebook, please visit our website at genesiscsl.org, or you can text your tithe to 206-800-7595. You can fill out our offerings now. So taking in that consciousness, I invite us to hold our offerings and our prayer requests to our heart as we sing our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am thankful. And Gideon will now go around and collect our prayers and offerings as we sing God is our source.
God is my source. Oh, I don't like that key. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Woo! God truly does give us everything we need, and so I just bless these offerings. Know that they are multiplied into that universe that says, yes, 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 and yes. And so it is. Thank you for joining us today. You can join us for food and fellowship after the service, and have a great week. I invite you to stand and sing Release.